afternoon, student.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please sit down. How are you all?
We are fine.
Have you taken your lunch? Now do you have energy?
Yes.
Are you feeling sleepy since it's afternoon? So are you feeling sleepy?
No.
The weather is a bit clumsy, isn't it? Okay, so let me ask you some question only. So the question which you will be able to answer only, not a very hard question. So have you ever seen a tiger?
Yes.
Where have you seen it? In real life? In zoo. In real life zoo?
Yes.
You have visited. And some student, where have you seen it?
On TV.
In TV, televisions. Okay. You have seen tiger in a zoo. So maybe like next year or they are in the previous year or maybe the years to come, you will see a tiger. You have to go and visit it by your own. So that try to visit so that you'll get to see it by your own eyes how the tiger look, isn't it? Looking in a television, you might think like, oh, it's like this only. But looking with our own naked eyes, then only we'll be able to describe how the tiger look, how the size of a tiger, isn't it? So now, this lesson will be on a tiger in the zoo. What is our day's lesson? Lovely? Very good. So now open your English textbook. Open your English textbook. See, a tiger in the zoo. So can you name the poet name? The poet who has written this name, this poetry, a tiger in the zoo. Can you name?
No, ma'am.
Any one of you?
Yes, ma'am. Leslie Norris.
Very good. Sit down. Okay. Before starting the poem, let us give a brief introduction about this Leslie Norris. This Leslie Norris is known also called as a George Leslie Norris. He was born in 1921. The name of the poet. Note down in your copy. This is very important. George Leslie Norris, note it in your copy. Who have written this poetry, A Tiger in the Zoo? Who is it? Who is the name of, what is the name of the poet? Very good. Note it down in your copy. This is a very important question. In your exam, a question might ask, what is the name of the poet, A Tiger in the Zoo? Okay. First, let me recite a poem. A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. He stuck in his vivid strip the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet white in his white rig. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through the long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle edge, baring his white fang, his claws terrorizing the village. But locked in a concrete cell, he struck behind bars, sucking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So in this poetry, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stanzas, and in each stanza there are 4 lines. But we are not going to discuss all the 5 stanzas. 3 stanzas we are going to discuss in the next class, but in today's class we are going to discuss only 2 stanzas. How many stanzas? 2 stanzas, 1 and 2. So any one of you can please stand up and read the 2 stanzas, number 1 and number 2. Any one of you can stand up. Okay, read it loudly.
the poet is Leslie Norris, and the name of the poem is Tiger in the Zoo. He stalks in his vivid strips the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet white in his quiet rage. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass.
Okay, very good. Sit down. Since the poetry is about a tiger in the zoo, so in this poetry, there is some what imaginary in this poetry. This poet, this George Lowley Norris, he has while visiting the zoo, he has an imaginary. While looking at the tiger, he has imagined how the tiger life. In this poetry, we'll know about the tiger life inside the zoo and then outside the zoo. He has imagined, while imagining, because it's a tiger in the zoo, the tiger was inside the zoo, isn't it? Inside the cage. So this poet, he will describe about the life if this tiger was outside the zoo, how his life would be, how his life, what he's going to do. That is how the poet describe about the life of a tiger if he would have been outside. So in this poet, there are two imaginary. One is inside the cage and one is outside the cage, where he is in the jungle. So let me show you a pictures of a tiger. Since many of you said that you have seen it in the television, so let me show you a tiger in a very clear way. Can any one of you can please come here? Thank you. Okay, what is this? Tiger. Where is this tiger? Is it in a jungle? Where is it? In a zoo. So here it has clearly written a tiger in the zoo, isn't it? So now let us describe about the first stanza. He stuck in his river strip the few steps of his cage and pads of velvet white in his quiet ring. He stuck in his river strip. This tiger, he was inside the zoo, and in the zoo he was put in a cage. And in that cage, that cage is not very big, like maybe like this campus of our institute. It might be a very small cage, isn't it? So that tiger, he was not able to move very fast or very hurry like he used to do in a jungle. So he's stuck in a vivid strip like this. At the few steps of his cage, he was walking slowly, maybe like this in a way, very slowly inside the cage. He cannot run like this. He cannot run like this, like he used to do in the jungle. But he have to do slowly, walk slowly inside the cage. Because the cage was very small. Or the cage is big, the cage is small, isn't it? That's why you have to take a small step. And while walking in that cage, the foot of that tiger will not make sound. Why it will not make sound? Because in the down one, the toe like over here, the tiger feet is like a velvet type. It's very soft. That's why while walking also, the tiger will not make sound. If it walks 100 times also, you will not be able to hear the sound of a tiger. So in his quiet range, on the backs of velvet white, in his quiet range. And in this quiet range, it said that he was very angry. The tiger was very angry, but he can do nothing because he was kept inside the cage. He can do nothing. If you want to scream for the people, if you want to do anything also, he can do because he was kept inside the cage. So what he do, he have nothing to do. So he was just walking quietly, silently in that cage. So here it says that he's stuck in his river strip the few steps of his cage. Now take the meaning of this stuck. Stuck meaning follow. He's stuck in his rivet strip. Rivets meaning his vivid strip. He was following his own shadow because inside the cage, because the cage is small, so while moving, he just imagine the tiger will be very big. It's not the size of the deer, isn't it? So while moving, the shadow will be there, isn't it? So he was following his own shadow only. And in the tiger, you'll see there is a bright color over the tiger body, isn't it? From far away also you'll see the contrast of the color of the tiger. That is what the vivid strip means. And the few steps of his cage on pets of velvet white in his wide range, and pets meaning paw of a tiger. And rage meaning anger. Have you written this in your copy?
Yes, ma'am.
Note it down. This meaning is very important because without understanding the meaning, you will not be able to understand the point. Okay, because I've told you that the tiger is angry, isn't it? But he can do nothing. That is what I say, that in his quiet range. Because he can do nothing, he just have to sit inside the cage and walk slowly and doing his own thing. So here come to the second part. Now first we have seen like the tiger was inside the cage, and the point now he described, the first stanza he described about the poet life inside the cage, isn't it? So now we'll discuss, now the poet will describe about the life of a tiger, how he's imagined about the life of tiger in the jungle outside the cage. And here in the second stanza, it has written, listen here carefully, so that you will not be confused when you reach to the third stanza. He should be lurking in shadows, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. And the point, imagine here, after seeing the tiger in the zoo, now he'll imagine here, oh, if the tiger is in the jungle, now he might be lurking in the shadows, sliding through the long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. He imagined that the tiger might be hiding in a very long grass, near the water, so that he will be able to catch a deer. When he saw a deer, he will hide in a long grass in order that the deer will not be able to see him. When the deer is there, he can catch that deer very easily. That is what the poet imagined the life of a tiger in the zoo. And the meaning of the word lurking is it down. Lurking means, I have told you, like he should be lurking in shadow. He should be lurking, he will be hiding himself in a long grass. That is the meaning of lurking. He will be hiding himself in a long grass so that the deer will not be able to see him. So while the deer is walking near that grass, he will be able to catch the deer very easily. That is what the poet has imagined the life of a tiger if he is outside the cage. That's mean in the jungle, because the life of a tiger will he be able to survive in a cage? No, isn't it? But the life of a tiger should be in a jungle, and that's why this poet, he has a lot of imaginary about the life of a tiger. That means inside the cage and outside the cage, that is in the jungle. Now do you understand about the first and second stanza? Do you understand it in a very clear way? Do you have any doubt on it? Okay. So now tell me about the meaning of stop. S-T-A-L-K-S, stop. Follow. Okay. Manjushri, can you please come here and write the meaning of this vivid? Very good. Sit down. Okay, the meaning of vivid is bright color. So note the meaning which I have given you, keep in your copy while reciting the poem, while reading the poem, you should compare the meaning. Means while reading the poem, you should read this and understand the meaning of it, because you will not be able to understand the poetry without knowing the meaning of it. Okay? Okay, the third, fourth and fifth stanza we will be doing it in the next class. For today's, we will complete only these two stanzas so that if I go in detail, you will get confused of it. So little by little we are going to complete this poetry. Means it will take like 2 class or 3 class so that you'll have a very clear understanding about this poetry. So write down your questions, your home assignment. Copy this 2 lines. Copy this 2 lines. Finish? Finish? Okay. After this 2 lines, continue in the next line. Continue in the next line. There are four lines in this first stanza, and the third line will be Note it down in your copy, everyone, and bring this homework tomorrow. Explain the first stanza with your own words, with your own understanding. No one should copy from your friend. Write on your own, okay? And try to read the three stanza at home so that it will be easy for you to understand in the next class while I'm explaining. Okay, thank you class.
Thank you.